Hey, it's Joseph here. Since it is a festive season, I wanted to do a content around Christmas and the holidays. And whilst I was trying to get some ideas, and I saw a post from Enscape for a holiday competition. If we look at their blog post, you can see holiday rendering competition, win big with your most festive image. And alongside some prizes, their competition rules, I can render my favorite holiday scene out of Enscape and get creative and submit your festive rendering by January 6th in one of two ways. So I want to take this opportunity to model and render something that is for this competition, but also just kind of show you my process of making a model. And whilst thinking of what am I going to model and render, I decided to doodle a little bit. So here is sort of a doodle that I have made, just a Christmas scene in general. Sorry for the doodle quality of an image, but maybe this will look slightly better, maybe not. I'm not necessarily proud of this sketch, but it is sort of hand-drawn draft of the scene that I want to make, so I'll be referring to this sketch whilst I'm modeling. Let's get things started. And I have this sketch available for myself, so I'm gonna first model a room. Perhaps 10 by 10, 10 feet, enter, and then give it a slab of 1 foot perhaps, and then make that into a group. Make another rectangle on top and use an offset tool to offset, say 6 inches, and then push pull that to say 10 feet. And I don't really need all 4 sides of the room. I'm gonna select this one and then delete so that I don't have extra face. And then if I turn on shadow, you will see the sun is coming from this left side here. So I want to maintain that as my corner where the window is going to be shedding some light in. So I want to use that as advantage. So maybe I want to get a scene like that where the light will be coming in from the side. So perhaps I need to use evening sun or maybe the morning. There you go. So I want to use that sort of time of the day. So I'm going to get rid of this wall here. And then also wall here. And then triple click this to make it into a group. I have noticed there's an extra edge, so I'm going to get rid of that. So basically, if I have a window will be shedding some light in there. Let's go ahead and extend this further, 10 feet. And also this wall here as well, 10 feet. And then let's put a ceiling. Instead of ceiling, I can actually just copy this over on top so it forms sort of a ceiling. All right, I'm gonna turn off the shadow. So there is my basic box. Perhaps I need to extend that further as well, 10 feet. And then just match that. And then there as well. So I'm going to update my scene and then save this for first time. So desktop, save as my Christmas 01 and save. Okay, so far so good. So going back to the scene, I do need a fireplace and window on one side. So I'm gonna model that. Let's say window is about 4 feet high from the floor. And then let's say 4 feet across, and then another 4 feet high and 4 feet there, and then I can just push pull that into so that it creates void. And then I need fireplace, so that's gonna be like that. And then again 4 feet by 4 feet. And then I'm gonna build that out slightly, say about 3 inches, maybe 4 inches, maybe 5 inches. So here's a little trick. So if I double click this surface here, it will select the face and surrounding edges. And then if I hold down Shift key, I can deselect certain elements, but also if I hold down Control key at the same time as well, my cursor will have a negative sign next to it. And then I can actually go over both of the face and the edge like so that it is only selecting these 3 edges. So effectively I just needed these 3 edges selected, but trying to land your click onto this is a bit slower than double clicking it and then just quickly doing that. That is a little trick there. And once I do that, offset tool and then just hover over this edge here, and then I can reduce by, let's say, about a foot. And that is perhaps too much, 8 inches. And then push pull that into here. And I perhaps need to push pull into the wall as well. So I'm gonna undo that and then actually copy this surface and then push pull that away again. And then perhaps make this into a group. And then double click into this wall surface here, push pull that into the wall. So what I'm doing is basically I've created the surface and then push pull into this wall and then push pull that and then push pull again. And instead of going all the way to 6 inches, actually before that, let's just pull out this wall slightly further, let's say 6 inches, so that I have a bit more depth into the wall, and then I can push pull into the wall 6 inches more. Therefore, I have this fireplace created. So that's not exactly how fireplace is built. So I'm gonna increase the material a little bit so that it wraps around the wall. So 1 inch over, and then 1 inch over as well. Select that, offset that in 1 inch, and then increase that by 6 inches. That way you have this material that carries over as one thing. So there is your fireplace built into the wall. And then let's say there's gonna be my tree, let's say about 3 feet wide and then 8 feet tall, which is nicely tall tree. And then I can double click this top edge and then I can shrink this into whatever the cone shape that I want. Hold down Control key so that you are scaling about from the center. Triple click this, make it into a group, and then situate that into the corner. So there's gonna be a tree and then fireplace. So I need a table in the front and then some sort of chair on the side. We're gonna put some ornaments and presents underneath the tree. So let's say we have a table 2 feet wide by, let's say, 5 feet. So I'm gonna rotate that, move tool, move that into the corner. So I am going to set my view just like how I have drawn here. I can increase the field of view by hitting Z for zoom tool. And then you can see at the bottom right hand corner, field of view increase to 60, DEG, enter. And then I can just kind of set up my view like so. And I can hit right click and update. If you don't have any views, you can go to view and then animation and add scene to make a new scene. And then I can have a little sofa that's back here, let's say about 2.5 by 2.5 by 2.5. Enter, and then increase that by about 3 feet or so. I'm gonna carve that or make a replacement later on. And we are also going to try and utilize as much 3D warehouse. So if we click on 3D warehouse from Google, I like the ones that are released by SketchUp themselves. So SketchUp sample, or perhaps everything that SketchUp has created. So in here I can go to collections and then Windows low poly versus Windows high poly, and I can click on that. Perhaps I like the look of this window right here, so I'm gonna click and download. And the trick is I can have this icon here, and then I can basically drag it into SketchUp and let go. And then that's just gonna come in like so. I'm gonna try and match it here. If I have trouble landing it, because this is glued onto the surface, I can right click it and then unglue. So I can actually match this surface here and then perhaps even push it in slightly. I'm gonna hit K so that I don't see everything and then move along green axis, match the surface right there. I do want to have that corner matched here, so I can corner match there, and then I can delete this one and then perhaps change the opening to the windows. So let me back out a little bit. The windows is actually looking a bit too small to light up the scene well. Let me see if I can find a different one. This one's looking a lot bigger, so let me try and download this one here. There you go. So that is slightly bigger. So I'm gonna delete this one and then unglue this one as well. And then just match the surface, move that along green axis 2 inches. And then change the opening size to match the other one. And then I'm gonna lower the height a little bit. I'm gonna have hard time matching that because I can't really land that there. I can hit K and then you'll be able to snap a lot easier. So I think the window has to move right so that it feels the scene a lot better. Let me change the rough opening first. So perhaps move that along about 2.5 feet. That one as well, 2.5 feet. And then I perhaps need to go tighter in the scene. Maybe look up a little bit. There you go. And then update. So far looking good. So if I go back to the scene, notice I have slightly different material so I can reflect some lights that's coming out from fireplace and also the ornament on top of fireplace. So I can draw a circle on top. However, I want to have it exactly on the center, so I can just draw it here about 2.5 feet. That's too large, 2 feet, 1.5 feet. There you go. You can have some depth on it. Double click it. Oh, actually, let's do offset as well. So about 6 inches, and then push that back in. So triple click, make it into a group, just move it up, hang it up there like so. And then I need to carry out that material, hover over, and then you move it slightly, and then you'll be able to just kind of snap onto that point. I'm gonna say 4 feet by 2 feet or so, and then increase the height a little bit, let's say 1/2 inch. Triple click it to make it into a group, and then move that back in along that surface. And I'm gonna pull that out slightly further by another foot. So that's gonna be a stone material where it can kind of reflect the light. I wanna build the mantle out a little bit, so I can double click this, copy this surface, come out, paste in place, and then increase the thickness 1 inches, and then just build that out a little bit, 2 inches, double click, there you go, so it has some sort of top surface. Perhaps I need to build that out slightly further, so 2 more inches. So let's do some asset hunting. First of all, I want to get some sofa and then the table first, which is probably a lot easier to find. Let's see what Enscape already has. So asset library from Enscape. So furniture there. I want very comfy, classy looking sofa. Perhaps that one there. Only the downside of using these is the fact that I can't really change the color. So I can replace that with the chair, like so. And then maybe even some cushions. So within the accessories, I'm gonna look for some items that I need. Perhaps the cushions first. So there are some cushions here. I like this pillow or cushion here. So I'm gonna position that like so. And also I want to search from the SketchUp 3D warehouse. So table. Here's a little trick. I like the ones that SketchUp people have made. So I can go down here and then type in SketchUp. Okay, I think this one looks classy enough. Dining table, massive wood. I'm gonna download that and then just drop it in there. Let's see also what Enscape has for me. Okay, perhaps this one, although it says outdoor couch table. Okay, I'm gonna close that and come out of it first. All right, that is really massive. Perhaps I can make it smaller a little bit and then replace this. I don't know how that's going to look, so I'm gonna park it here and see what that's going to look like. And then run Enscape for the first time. Okay, I like the fact that I see outside there already, and the cushion has come in. The table is looking somewhat too simple. I'm gonna park the window on the side so you guys can see what's going on as well. First, let's rotate the cushion a little bit so that it is leaning against the sofa. And then I'm gonna rotate a little bit to add sort of randomness to it. And the edges here on the table are just drawn on the surface, therefore it's not coming into the Enscape. So I'm gonna actually try and use this one because it's looking quite nice. So I'm gonna delete that and then just put it up against where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna match that scene. If I click on synchronize views, it's gonna synchronize the view. If I click it again, it just puts it out and match what that view is supposed to be. So I can actually see it a lot clearer. So that is looking quite good. I do wanna change the shadow a little bit onto my shadows. So I want to change the light a little bit so that it hits the tree a little more. So I'm gonna move that slightly like so, and then update the scene. So let's see what floor material that we can do. I want sort of a darker color in the floor. So let me see if I can do some sort of wood pattern on here. If I try to pick any of the wood here, I never found it too good on native SketchUp material. So I'm gonna try and make one myself. Go from my own material library. So perhaps this wood here. Let me see if that is going to be suitable. That is going to be wood 01, wood floor 01. Okay, that. So that is spanning nicely. I do want slight reflection on it, but I'm not gonna bother with that for now. I wanna materialize everything first. And I want sort of a blue stone material on the fireplace. So I'm gonna create one myself again. Maybe sort of a dark gray stone here. And then I'm gonna call it stone fireplace 01. And then make that slightly bigger. Apply that there. So you can kind of see the stone material on the bottom, and then perhaps one on the back as well. So double click in there so you can just kind of capture it from the back as well. I want sort of the dark metallic around the fireplace. I'm gonna get some sort of dark metal material. Metal typically doesn't need to be anything particular in terms of image. It just needs to have some reflection to it. But I'm gonna put one anyways. So I want darker color as well. There you go. I want slight blue tint to this, so I'm gonna go here and then give a little bit of a blue tint, maybe even darker. I want this wood to be slightly darker as well. Okay. Again, the same practice, just double click on this so it just sort of snaps back. And I don't really like this wood color on the window frames. I'm gonna match that as sort of a darker color as well. Perhaps take out the texture, just match the color. And then I want the ceiling to have some sort of off-white color. So I'm gonna go very close to white ceiling. And then just top there. And then I want wall to have very dark bluish color. So I'm gonna call it paint dark blue 01. And then get some sort of bluish color. Perhaps that is a bit bright, so I'm gonna lower that down, lower the saturation. Okay, that is looking good. We need some green and red in the scene. Okay, I need to find Christmas wreath here. I don't think Enscape has anything in their assets. I'm gonna look anyways. However, I'm gonna look in 3D Warehouse as well. So I'm gonna type in Christmas. All right, nothing shows up in their asset library. I'm gonna look in 3D Warehouse. So I wonder there's gonna be Christmas tree and Christmas wreath as well. Let me type in Christmas wreath. Actually, that is looking quite promising. So I'm gonna download that one. And then Christmas tree, to be very specific. I'm gonna download this one and test. I want sort of a high poly item. Let me see if that is suitable. Let me download that as well. And that one too. So let me just drop that in. As these are quite big models, I'm gonna stop live updates or Enscape doesn't cause my computer to struggle. Let me just get the right Christmas tree first and then render that. Actually, this is looking quite good, except those triangles that are floating around. Maybe those are snow or some sort of light. It's not too bad, but not sure if that is exactly what I want. So I'm gonna see others as well. So that is Christmas wreath. That is looking quite good. So I'm gonna rotate that. I'm gonna figure out why this group is so big. So there is a hidden line, that's why it's big. Delete that. There's quite a lot in there, so I'm gonna come out of it. Alright, not much I can do. So I need to rotate that around, face it against the wall, 90 degrees. Up there. Perhaps try and match where that is. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that. I want that to be slightly bigger as well. So I'm gonna increase from the center, hang it slightly upper, and then bring it out from the wall. There you go. I'm gonna bring this into SketchUp and see what that looks like. I think that is better looking tree, although it has weird geometry going on, so we'll see how that goes. What about the other one? Okay, that is quite edge heavy model. I can actually go in here and then hide all the edges. If you hide all the edges, the model becomes a lot lighter and much easier to handle. Okay, out of these, I want to use this one because that is looking much like what I had imagined my Christmas tree to be. But I do like these presents that are already modeled in here, so I'm gonna take those. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of this tree, and these ornaments, I may use them again, so I'm gonna keep it there. I don't really need that light there. So there is my sort of kit bashing, or putting 3D warehouse stuff combined together. So that's all I need off of this model here. And out of this one, the presents are okay, but I do like these. So I'm gonna copy them and perhaps keep a couple of them to myself and then paste in place. Keep that into a group for now. And then perhaps I need to work on this tree. I'm gonna purge my model first because I have brought in a lot of things and I have deleted a lot, which I have a shortcut of Shift-0. Okay, that. It may take a while since I have a lot of element that is going to be purged. There you go. And then I'm gonna save after that. And I'm gonna go in here. Not sure what this rings are. I think they're meant to be the Christmas ornament, but I don't really like it, so I'm gonna get rid of that. And I don't really like this flimsy bottom as well, so I'm gonna get rid of that one as well. And perhaps situate the entire tree down. And I just need to bring it into position and get rid of this cone, make it a lot bigger, and then put that into the corner. I need to rotate it perhaps. I can't really see it. Gonna get rid of that ceiling so I can see how it is oriented. There you go. Put that ceiling back. That is looking quite good. Perhaps that is too tall. So I'm gonna bring that down slightly. Okay, that's good. I want that to be red color, so I'm gonna bring that to red and perhaps even match this one here. And I don't really like these white ones in here, so I'm gonna get rid of that as well. And I want that to be sort of the gold color default material that is seeming to be some sort of V-Ray material. So I'm gonna copy those, and this is metal gold so that Enscape can register it. I'm gonna put that onto here like so. And then there are some lights in here. This is built for V-Ray, I think. So I'm gonna get rid of that and then just change that to emissive. I don't need that transparent. I just need it white-ish color. And then emissive. So this is a light, emissive 01. So I probably will need a lot more than that, but I'm gonna keep it at that for now. And then I just need to get into the trees. I wanna get all of these active, cut that, and then paste into this scene here. So I have this one. I'm gonna make that into a component. And then the rest, I can select all of those and then actually replace the component. The component replacer, I can replace with this one here. That way all of them are components instead. So I'm gonna make that into a component and select all of those, and then Shift V, which is a component replacer. I'm gonna replace with that so that all of those are components. And I'm gonna check this ribbon as well. Make this one into component and select all of those. Shift V to replace. There you go. And all of these lights as well. Oh, they are already components. Good. So I'm gonna go into tree and make them a bit fuller. I'm gonna exclude the trunk of the tree, although that is quite flimsy looking. I'm gonna increase the thickness of this trunk. So I'm gonna push pull, joint push pull tool. I'm gonna push pull that so that it is larger. And then I can get rid of this one and then just extend that further. Just use the scale tool since it's just easier to do that. And then I need to perhaps taper to the top. So double click that and then go in here, delete that. And then just make the surface. Select this one, scale tool, hold down control key so that you are scaling from the center. So that way the trunk is tapered. There you go. And I need a bit more randomness to this tree. So they are seemingly components that's been repeated. So I'm gonna select all, look at from the top, hit up arrow key so I can snap onto blue axis, toggle on copy by hitting control key once, and then rotate that. And when that is rotated, I'm gonna move that slightly upwards so that they are out of whack. Okay, that is looking a lot fuller. I do want the ornament to be slightly yellower. So this one is a default color. I'm gonna get yellower color. Goldish color is what I want. There you go. I want to type in reflective, and all of these I can just apply a goldy color and apply a gold color as well, reflective. I'm gonna pull that out a little bit so I can see the character clear. Okay, go back to my scene, purge. And I don't really like this stripy ball, so I'm gonna change to this one here. Cut this one, go into where I can select all of this, paste this one here, and then select all of these instances, and then do component replacer, but this time I'm gonna hold down control key so it disables scale to fit, and that is perhaps too small. So I need to go back and then make sure this is scale definition as well. So right click again, select all the instances, hold down control key, and there you go, it's been replaced, although it has come into wrong positions. Move that a little bit so that it matches where it's supposed to be. And then I want that to be sort of the Christmas silver color. So Christmas, silver, metal, and let's make it slightly brighter color as well. First, I don't need the string, so I'm gonna get rid of that. I perhaps need more lights in there. I don't like this candle looking light. I'm gonna double click on this, just make a sphere. A little trick is to draw a circle, and then also another circle other way. And then just use follow me tool to make a sphere. Copy that here, and then I'm just gonna get rid of those. Move it over here as a sphere, and then just gonna get rid of this one here. So that is just a sphere here. I'm gonna make that sphere a lot smaller so they just seem as sort of a light. First I need to snap onto the axis, so I can hit K once and then I can align to the axis. There you go. And I want a lot more of them, so I can right click instances, and then the same trick, I'm gonna look at from the top here and then rotate that, hit control key once to copy that, and then move it slightly above. These big ribbons I'm not really liking all that much, so I'm gonna reduce size and see how that fits. I'm gonna get rid of this one, but I do like this snowy ornament. So what I will do is cut this and then go into this group where I can select all of this, paste in place, So I can use a composition of this gray one here. I can right click and then select all the active ones and then basically rotate that from the top. Toggle on copy again so that they are rotated like so. Move it slightly and then move into different axes so they look slightly different in position wise. I'm gonna put it back into the tree, and those I'm going to make it into one group just in case, but I'm gonna make sure they are scale definition, and also these are scale definition as well. Okay, so explode that. Whilst those are selected, I'm gonna replace with this one here. There you go. And they all need to be rotated. So I'm gonna go here and then make sure they are rotated from the center. So I'm gonna select the string because I don't really need it. I'm gonna select all of them, move it slightly to the center, and then I'm gonna rotate all of them so that they just kind of face outside. I'm gonna get rid of that one. I think they need to be smaller. So let's make them smaller by just scaling it. And they need to be a lot closer into the tree. So I'm gonna select all of them again. That's not too bad. These are too big, so I wanna reduce them slightly. Okay, that's looking good. I like the presents that are scattered around, but I'm gonna move them a little bit. Maybe that star is a bit too big, so I'm gonna reduce its size as well. Okay, I'm gonna see how that looks like in Enscape. Okay, that tree is looking good. Then I need to add some detail into fireplace. Okay, make different color, no texture. And I'm gonna go over these edges here. 2 inches, pull that out. 2 inches. Okay, I need that to be a lot further in, so I'm gonna push that further back in. And then I'm just gonna make that into complete dark color. That is looking a lot more convincing. Okay, so I'm gonna use this window since I think this is big enough. Alright, that's much better size. I just need the seal to be, let's say, 3 feet. Okay, and I'm gonna replace the material. I can actually replace the material by going Tool, Material Replacer. Replace this material with that material. Let's try that again. There you go, and I can delete that. And then just change the rough opening size. I wanna make sure that is corrected as well. Alright, so the glass is looking not too transparent, so I'm going to change that. Alright, and I'm going to change the materiality of the floor. I want it darker but reflective, but I'll just click on Enscape Materials, and then once the dialog shows up, I can just change the roughness so that it becomes more reflective. You can see a little reflection there. I'm going to add bump map as well, so use albedo to add bump map, so that you can see sort of the texture on the wood as well. I want more texture on this mantle as well, so I'm gonna go into adding wood texture on it. And I think those bells are a bit over the top, so I'm gonna get rid of those. And then maybe just add these on there instead. Perhaps I need to reduce the size of those balls. And I also wanted to add ornaments on top of the mantle, so I'm gonna put that up there. And then perhaps that needs to be straightened out a little bit. I don't really like these lights, so I'm gonna get rid of them. Alright, so I wanna put some fireplace. As you can see, animating fire is a little bit difficult, but I'll figure it out. So first I want these loaf of bread on top of the plate. Move this out of the way. Make it a bit more convincing. Actually, I want to put this pizza in there. Red mirror glazed cake, that's looking good too. Okay, I'm just gonna draw a rectangle and then just have 1/16, and then just add some Christmassy pattern. I'm liking that pattern, so I'm gonna download that, save image as onto desktop. Alright, I'm gonna just use that. So edge is a bit too straight, so I'm gonna draw freehand on the side and push pull that. Maybe I need to bring that up slightly so that it doesn't look too flat. So perhaps go to sandbox tool, front contours, and then explode that. Use smooth tool about 6 inches. I can just bring it up a little bit. Projected, select all. Apply. You can see a little bit of angulation there. I want the scene to be more evenly lit, so I'm gonna use one spheric light into the scene. So I'm gonna bring that closer to the window so that it looks a bit more natural, and then perhaps change the background over the windows. Perhaps forest would be more suitable in this scene. So visual settings, and then I can change that to forest. Or maybe mountains. I want a bit more bloom, a lot of vignettes to make it look warmer. Alright, save that scene, Enscape view, and also because I don't really see it, I'm gonna -1 enter, and that should have flipped. So you can see sort of angulation there. And I want to put some tree outside the window just so that I can cut some light. I'm actually going to delete those layers, vegetation. Let me make sure I have some floor to place them. Aspen tree outside that is looking humongous. Alright, I'm gonna reduce its scale so I can at least see it out the window. Alright, I can see the foliage outside, which is good. Maybe some autumn trees since it's supposed to be winter. Alright, replace with this one. I like the look of the night scenes. I'm gonna go to sort of sunset. I think it brings the warmth up. And then bring down the intensity a little bit. And maybe look down just a tad bit. And then click Enscape View 3. And then finally, I'm gonna go render image. And basically that is going to render that view. So that's what is the final result. So that was a quite long video recording. Hopefully I can edit it down to a shorter video. However, I really like the final image, therefore I'm gonna submit this into the competition. Hopefully I'll get picked. Otherwise, you might have learned something over this video. If you did, and if you have liked it, please like this video and subscribe to my channel to continue watching these type of videos. And thank you so much for watching as always, and Merry Christmas. I'll see you next time. Bye.